I, like you, have been waiting for Wuju Bakery for years. I don't even have the strength to go back and calculate how many years I have seen this drama's thumbnail in upcoming dramas, and it never surfaced. It has surfaced. And when I tell you this drama is awful, that's me being nice. So let me preface this episode by saying, word on the curb, baby. I'm not going into the company names and all this shit because there are those who have done their super sleuthing on the internet, and you can go and you can find the books that they have written to explain what happened with this production company and that one. The gist of what I've read is that there's a production company that produced this drama. It does seem like it is one out of Hanguk, and that production company went bankrupt. Okay. And unfortunately, it resulted in nobody getting paid. Jeff Satur, BLOG, and Barcode, who's not an OG, but he was in King Porsche. So if you appeared in that, baby, you might have some honorary OG status. But yeah, none of them got paid. And the bottom line is that this is being aired against the wishes of Jeff. Jeff supposedly attached his company to this thing, and he didn't consent to it being aired. That is a very rudimentary version of what has happened. So I suggest that if you feel like you want to burst a blood vessel and go and read the details on that, you go and you do that. I'm here to tell you my first impression of it, okay? Now there are those sister soldier warrior hoods that are gonna say, hey, I'm not gonna watch this. I'm standing on principle. Jeff has said that nobody got paid. His company's attached to it, but they, tripping with no luggage. So since he said that, I'm not gonna watch it. Now I'm finding all this out after the fact. Like after I watched the first two episodes. It's 8 episodes, a mini drama, so to speak. Not so to speak, it's a mini drama. It's only 25 minutes long per episode. All the juicy details of why this shit's so bad, I found out after I had already watched it. And I'm principled sometimes. So had I read all of that, I may have not watched it. But because I did watch it, I'm gonna tell you what the fuck I watched. Because look, whether your name on it, not on it, you did it, you didn't, they did or they didn't, you did. This is what you did when you did it. Now maybe they was like, "Ooh, I need to do some more editing. That's why I want you to publish it," or whatever the case is. Now the company, it went bankrupt, so there isn't much you can do about that. This is my judgment on this. I am judging what was in this drama on the screen. I am not saying that my judgment means that Jeff or anybody else associated with this wanted this to be the final product. I'm not saying that because I love Jeff. Okay. I love Jeff. I love Jeff. We've all seen his music videos. This guy is, he is not one to like pass out fucked up. But y'all know what I'm noticing, y'all? I don't know. I just feel like 2026 is the year where I'm finding out the people who really can't actually act. I'm not saying Jeff can't act. I'm just saying, anybody else watching Perfect Crown? And I'm just like, wow. Now before I hijack this episode, I'm gonna refocus. Uju Bakery. Ooh, I'm speechless. I am speechless. So what happened? Okay, so Barcode has a bakery. We all knew that was coming, right? Okay, so he's got a bakery. It's the eve of the grand opening, and he is excited. He's got a little cop friend who he calls Young, which even the cop regarded him as like a little brother. And it's like, baby, we in Hanguk, everybody your little brother when they're younger than you, But anyway, so you know, His cop friend comes by to do like a impromptu taste test, because after all, this is a bakery. And Barcode, baby, I'm saying Barcode. I don't give a. His name is Wuju. I don't know if it's. Yeah, his name is Wuju, but Barcode. Look, Barcode is like, her, try this. He's like, ooh, this bread has such a unique shape. And I'm like, baby, you ain't never seen a bagel? It's just a circle. I mean, okay. So he tries this bagel and he struggles to not spit it out. Because he's like, baby, you still ain't got no sense of taste. And Barcode is like, what? Too much salt again? And he's like, you need to figure that out. You need some Vicks. You need to rub some Vicks on your nose, or you need to, have some cough drops, whatever will give you your taste back or something. You need to do that. And so he's like, man. So I'm thinking to myself, my BL head, I'm like, okay, so this is a chance for Jeff to come in and taste everything. You know what I'm saying? Just give it the once over. So I'm like, okay. So how the fuck is you opening a bakery with too much salt and shit? So, okay. So he's still about to open the bakery with the super salted bread or whatever. So the cop leaves, I guess. I guess he's like, okay, I'm not going to keep warning him. Don't open your doors. You're going to kill people with high blood pressure or whatever. So he leaves, and Jeff he's excited to sell this fucked up bread. And he goes and he lays in his bed. And even though he's got his own, he had to get a business license on Google, however that goes. He's got his own. It takes a lot to put together a physical store. But when Barcode goes to bed, he's like a child. His bed is adorned with moons and fucking crescent moons and stars and galaxies and stuff, because inside he's 8. He's 6. He's that age that he was when his dad died or something. Yes, his dad died, and he dreams about him. His dad is, speaking to him via the cosmos, and he's thinking about how he enjoyed spending time with his dad, and his dad is like, standing at the table kneading dough, and dad looks down at baby Barcode, and baby Barcode looks up, and dad allows him to put his little hands that he ain't washed yet into this dough, right? So they're kneading dough, and now they're back in the galaxy, and dad is like, I'm always here via the stars or something like that. And Barcode's like, where are you? Opa, not Opa, but ba. He's going away, and the star is just hurtling toward the earth, and it ends up making a collision, except the collision that actually happens is this car. Yeah. So Barcode wakes up to a car being in the fucking middle of the lobby of the damn bakery. And he's like, damn, why is there a car right here? So who exits the car but Jeff Satur and this other guy? Because, they always have to have a sidekick. They can't just come like a G. You know what I'm saying? He came and he had his little sidekick, and Jeff is... He is an alien, and I'm just going to give you an example of how he introduces himself. I am bada bada bada, mada mada mada, rada rada rada. Like, for real, I'm not playing. This name is like an automatopoeia. Is that what it is when it's like the same backwards and forwards? I don't know. But it's like, my name is bada 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 from mada mada mada, and he is rada rada rada. It's just... I'm like, okay, I'm trying. I am trying. So Barcode, who looks 35 now, Barcode used to be the maknae of the group and shit. He is not maknae no more. Jeff grown. I mean, not Jeff, but Barcode. He grown now. So, he's staring at them like, what the fuck, just like I am. All of a sudden, it's not even music, y'all. It's just like, think about Jersey Shore. Remember, dooch, 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 like that, like, outside of a club and you're like a mile away. This happens, so Jeff and his sidekick start breaking it down. And Barcode's looking at them like, what the He is like, what is going on? So, y'all, a neighbor from a nearby property comes over and he's like, oh my God, are you bada 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 and rada rada rada? And he's like, yeah, I'm bada rada Prince rada rada rada. This shit's got a 6.8 rating, which is kind of high for our favorite site in the world. Okay, I'm just saying. So, is it that they can't go lower than 6.8 or something? So he runs back to his farm or whatever with his elder. I don't even know if his dad, if it is his dad. And he's like, Dad, I found Prince rada 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 mada 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 fada fada. And they use this like 2 minute moment to kind of fill us in, to tell us instead of show us. That is writing, that is movie sin 101. You don't tell people what the fuck happened, you show it. Now, I write books and it's hard not to tell and show instead of tell, and I forgive it when it comes to books. But a movie, baby, you can't be giving us no 2, 3, 4 minute narrative about how Prince Radamada Radakata, he came down to the earth and it's these kind of jewels, and if we rescue him and take him back, we gonna get this kind of reward. And I'm like, okay. So he excited with his elder. We go back to Barcode and Jeff takes him to this pawn shop, let's just say. And he's like, I gotta get some money. And he shows this jewel, just like a bead. Like, go to lilliancollection.com if you want to support AIRAKSARANG. I make beautiful bracelets, beaded bracelets. And this bead just reminded me of my bracelets. So he's got this beautiful like turquoise bead, and he's walking into this shop with Jeff, and he tells the guy, he's like, I need to trade this in for money for something. And he's like, this bead might look small, but we had to condense our money to this size because it is so bountiful. Like, this is worth so much money, we had to make it small. So he goes to this door, he raps on the door with the pads of his finger, and he's like, rada mada rada kata. And there's like this. Remember Nickelodeon, how they used to have slime and shit? Like, this thing is like a slime figure. He reaches his slime tentacle out, but he retracts it because he notices that there's a person in here, which is Barcode, who is like completely panicked over in a corner, not paying attention to shit because he's just trying to figure out what's going on. So the shop owner is like, why didn't you tell me he was human? And Jeff is like, I don't know. I didn't write that into the script. Okay? That's episode 1. I saw 2 episodes, y'all. I can't tell you what happened past that because I don't know. I walked away. I stopped watching this at episode 2. I don't understand what the fuck is going on. Okay. Jeff and them crashed into the store, but it's not like a spaceship. So part of why Barcode is so befuddled, he's like, this ain't even a spaceship. So quit lying. This a motherfucking car. And Jeff is like, it had to be a car because this is the only thing you humans can absorb. And I'm like, it's just imagine a silver clown car crashing through a brick building. Okay. So they're in there. I have to mention this because Jeff and his little blind sidekick, they're sweeping up and mopping and all that, trying to clean up the mess. Cars still in the wall though. And there's this slowed down montage of Jeff. His shirt is half cocked, so now we can see some pecs and some abs. And it's slow motion. And Barcode is watching Jeff do this. It's supposed to be that titillating scene of a sexy man who is cleaning but exposing his bare chest, that type of shit. So Barcode has slowed down and he's looking at him like, I want him. But y'all know I love BL. And I want them to give it to me as much as possible. The first scene, I want them to be doing something. But this right here, This ain't it. So Barcode snaps out of it, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is what they think we are anticipating, looking forward to, So I told you all the drama surrounding this drama. All of that I found out after I watched this. But let me tell you the cherry on the top and why I won't be watching the rest of this shit. I would like to say that I'm principled and standing on principle because I love Jeff. Like, no, I don't want his project to be fucked up. But Jeff, you did show up and you did do this shit though. I mean, y'all might have edited it with the Be on Cloud editors or some shit, which is the only way this shit could have been good in the end. But I'm feeling like you would have had to say, fuck it, we're not gonna do this at all. Cause there's no editing this story to the point where it's good now. Jeff. Okay. And I'm saying Jeff because Jeff attached his company to it, which I thought was great. Jeff went independent when he left Beyond Cloud. Because Jeff a G, he like, look, I ain't got time for y'all. Bible over there, not Bible. I'm sorry, y'all. His name begins with a J. Y'all remember the scandal of him being a monster to his fiance and her being one of him. Whatever. All that drama. Jeff was like, baby, ain't nobody got time for that. Y'all fucking up the church's money. I work for a living. I ain't got time to be following y'all through court and all the rest of that shit. So I'm leaving. I'm out. Because I already got an established music career, which is where, Jeff has talent that extends beyond dramas. So he can afford to kick rocks with no socks. I am saying all that to say, the reason I keep addressing Jeff is because, baby, you attached your name to this. And we do bomb sometimes. I've got some books that probably aren't all that great. But, Jeff, you attached your name to that. And I'm standing on principle, baby. Okay? I stand by the books that even may or may not be as well received. But this is the point. Jeff, there was no way for this movie to be good. And the only understanding that I have for this travesty and your name being attached to it is if you say, you know what? At a certain point, I realized that this was trash. And I just said, fuck it. I don't want this to go forward. I know. And they're doing it against my will. If that's the case, fine. But that's not the point. The point is whether you pulled the plug or not, Jeff, that we can see it right now until they can somehow, because it does appear to be some kind of a loophole. They slid this shit in under. Unless, y'all can somehow still get this shit yanked. You did show up every day for this. And you did do this. With your acting prowess and your musical abilities, you did go and do this. Something in you at the point in time when you came and showed up for set and put the fucking metallic suit on, you said, this is a good idea for a certain amount of time. Now, I think logistically and business-wise, if you pulled the plug because they was fucking up your money, I get it. But artistically, something about this drama made you feel like this was a good idea. That is what this first impression is based on. It is terrible. It's so bad. But y'all, that ain't it though. Now you gotta be an OG to understand this. And if you're not familiar with AIRAKSARANG enough, like girl, these little 3 or 4, not 3 or 4, y'all know, like 20 or 30 videos on this channel. I love them. I'm proud of my work, but AIRAKSARANG existed 4 years in the making. So go back to my podcast. The link is in the descriptor of this channel. Go back and find my episode on Love is Like a Cat. I know, yes. Did y'all know that the people that's responsible for that travesty or responsible for this travesty, that is why in the first episode, the Hyung was speaking Korean, Barcode was speaking Thai, and they was able to understand each other. That's just insulting to our intelligence. You know what I would rather they do? I would rather that they, I don't know what the fuck I would rather they do, actually. I think I'd rather just absorb those scenes raw or just pick a side. Pick a side. I get it. If it was a Hangul company, nobody in that motherfucker that speaks that gonna be speaking Thai, but y'all, This is acting. And acting is like any other discipline. You got to learn it. And these are lines to memorize. And, if you got to memorize the Hangul, do that. Do that. Look at Mike D'Angelo. I think he goes by Mike Angelo now, but maybe he's still D'Angelo. I hate when they try to change their name after we used to some shit. Mike D'Angelo. Now, we know, and this is probably why it works in his favor. He's a Thai actor, but he has had a lot of, let's say, he has had a decent level of success with starring in dramas out of C-drama land. And because of their common practice of dubbing the shit, he has been able to go over there and seamlessly go in there. Now, who knows, how you prepare yourself to actually be able to succeed, even in a dub situation when you speak something else. I've seen some interview footage with Mike D'Angelo where he has said that he actually can speak Chinese. I ain't gonna say he fluent. He about as fluent as AIRAKSARANG is in this shit. You know what I'm saying? But when he get on there, he convincing, right? So I'm just feeling like, baby, if y'all had to do a Mike D'Angelo, then y'all need to do that shit. Because that whole, I can understand you, even though you speaking some whole other shit, doesn't work. It don't work. But y'all, if I would have known the scandal prior to, if I had known the Love Is Like a Cat producers did this shit, I would never have watched this. And it's the reason why I don't think you should either. However, AIRAKSARANG is a scholar, baby. I'm an academic. Y'all ain't know that? I love to study. I love to read. I love to write. And some things I think are profitable just for research sake. I ain't saying watch all 8, and I'm also not saying sacrifice any of the minutes of your fucking life force if you don't want to. But if you don't believe that Jeff Satur, I'm probably saying this shit wrong, if you think that Jeff could attach himself to some shit that's so bad you don't know what to say, I would say watch the first episode. You don't got to watch the first 2. You do not have to watch the first 2. If I'm not mistaken, I watched the first 2 because those are the only 2 that's available. Baby, watch that first episode. You gonna be scratching your head like, what the fuck was that? What is this? You gonna be trying to figure it out. You're also gonna be trying to figure out, how did they expect us to make, when I say a leap, it's like the leap they wanted us to make from this goofy, weird, alien, too much salt in the bread shit. The leap they wanted us to make from that to whatever BL they was gonna give us is like trying to jump across the Grand Canyon, y'all. Now, if AIRAKSARANG can't find the love, no matter where y'all give it to me, something is wrong. Y'all, what is it? 2-0? 2 means you done lost and you ain't won none, which is O. Because, not to hijack this, but in an earlier episode, which is called We Are All Trying Here, Kwang Daman is about to have a lover, and I just can't understand it. I'm just like, whoo, I don't know about this one. Wuju Bakery. Y'all, the only thing I want to see Barcode and Jeff doing this shit is to say, psych.